everyone, welcome back to the brilliant world of chess. So, today in this video, I'll be going through the World Rapid Chess Championship Finals, round number 13, between many great chess players with GMs like Sam, Magnus, who's ranked number 1, Arjun Rigasi, Anish Giri, Alexander, and Nepo Ian. These players are competing for first place. And we're gonna go through three games today. We're gonna go through board number one, three, and six or seven, I think. And so let's start off with Nepo versus Sam. Sam is playing with the white pieces, Sam Sevier, the GM. And just to know, before the 13th round, Magnus is number one in the tournament. He's playing for a draw because he's gonna win the tournament. And these two players are playing for a win. So Sam starts off with d4, this is f6, d4, e6. This is known as the Nimzo Indian defense, a great opening by black. Knight e bishop e4, e3. So this is the normal line played by Sam Sevian. Now castles, bishop e3, because you don't want to trade off, by the way, this. It's not good. And it is d5. Knight f3, c5 is played. This is the Gligoric system. This is a nice opening to play, as now you can see it's drawn in the evaluation bar. And then, usually, according to principles, you should take towards the center, but he castles, keeping these pawns. This is a good structure, not for both of them, but okay. And then Nepo strikes here. The bishop takes back, and as you can see, it's not good. He moved the bishop twice. Knight move goes to c6. And then there's a few moves a3, bishop a5, and then he takes there. And obviously, you want to remove this knight as it's really controlling. That's why bishop c3 is a great move. B takes e3, queen a5, targeting this pawn and this pawn. This is usually what happens. You can't go queen to d4. So this queen e2, takes e5, and a4. Now he just advances this pawn, rook to d8, and bishop to a3. This is brilliant chess played by Sam Sevian, attacking the queen. So the queen moves to a5, there's e4, and then a blunder is made, knight to e5. Because of this move that Sam finds, bishop e7, attacking the rook and this knight. So after the rook moves to d7, you take and you double the pawns and play bishop b5, attacking the rook again. This position, as Sam is white, is so better for him. Rook goes to d8, and it is knight e5, f5, trading the knights, queen e4. As you can see, white is better with the attack, and this structure is not good. The king is open, the queen's still on the board. King f8, rook a1, and king e7. At this point, Nepo's with 10 minutes and Sam's with 9 minutes, so Sam should be in a win for him. So the queen goes to g5, bishop e7. There are a lot of things that happen here, and then he takes here, Sam. And now Sam just up a pawn, rook c8. h4 is given a question mark, and I don't know really why. c7 declines the queen trade check, takes the pawn, queen e5, and an f4. This is a great move, attacking the queen. After the queen decides to chop this pawn on c3, there is e5. That's a good move, keeping the pawns connected, and queen g3. After queen goes to e4 and then rook c3, bring the rook in, he takes here. This is a mistake, as a better move would have probably been to get the rook in, but it's a free pawn, so why not? King e8, and he takes this. Now he's kind of losing a bit of his advantage, because after queen takes h4, queen f5, although he makes a miss, before he could have brought his rook to c4, attacking this pawn, which would have been better. This pawn's not really getting anywhere so far, this one. So rook b3 is not the correct move. Queen goes to e1, offering a queen. Queen goes to d8, and a5 is a bit of a mistake. Just lost a bit of advantage. Check. Goes to h2, rook h3 behind the pawn. Queen h4. Now after rook takes a mistake, because rook b1. Actually, queen h7 would have been better, but like actually rook b1. And then queen h7, defending this check. But then, ladies and gentlemen, after this move, Nepo resigns because Sam plays rook b8. That move's crazy. It's a brilliant move. Look, if you take, I go queen to h8. Isn't that crazy? It's check and I win the queen. If he goes here, then like you're gonna get a mate somehow, right? You're gonna get a mate. You're gonna go here or something, or maybe there. And technically, in this position, Nepo resigned, and that's how Sam won. Sam ended up with 9 out of 13, and Nepo's on 8 out of 13. It was a really great performance by Sam, and yeah. But now let's just go through the second game between Arjun and Alexander. Okay, so the next game is between Arjun and Alexander. So Arjun's with the white pieces, Alexander's with the black. So Arjun starts off with d4. There's a lot of d4s in this round. Now f6, d4, d6. This is the old Indian defense. If you play g6, it'll be converted to the King's Indian. So after knight f3, that's a good move. G6, what's the King's Indian defense? Or the Anglo-Indian kind of, more like an English opening, but this is g7, e4, counters. Now it's the King's Indian defense, normal variation. So in chess, it can change very quickly. The openings h3, knight a6. I used to play an f6 version because I usually like c5 and then I try to go to c7 and then like I don't know and I try go a6 b5. Yeah, like this. Yeah, a6 b5 and stuff. Yeah. So after bishop e5, he played queen e8 to go e5. So now Alexander wants to go e5, bishop e2, e5 as planned. Here the best move is played on d5. After d5 is h5, e3, stopping things like knight f4, which is not good. The knight has a good position. You don't want to trade the bishop anyways off, because then this will come in and like all that. So currently it's drawn. f5 is played, e5, d5, and then knight h4, knight goes back to f6. So now they're just taking their pieces out of the principal knight food, but then he plays this move knight b4, Alexander. This is a good move. It's attacking the queen. So the queen goes to 3. Another move could have been queen d2. I would suggest that because the queen d2, you're threatening bishop h6, which would lead to an attack. Okay, queen b3, a5, and then down to a3. This is a great move. You have to take out the knight. Knight goes back to a6. Queen goes back to c3. And this time the knight goes to c5. So not an outpost. You can still go b4 later, but not now. Bishop goes back to e3. f4. This is given a question mark as it's a mistake because the g takes, e takes. You're better because of bishop c5. So it's the great move. That's a miss because you should have played something like knight d7. I really don't know why. D takes h5, queenside castles. This is great. The king goes to a waiting move, rook hg1. And now just look at your attack. Like, you're doing great, right, aren't you? Queen to e7, bishop goes to d3, and you're just hitting everything. Now, Arjun just absolutely destroys. He found an absolutely stunning move, bishop g6. Because if you take, you get hit with rook e7. Rook e7. And if your queen takes, look, takes e7. If your queen takes, knight g6 wins the queen. Oh my gosh, that's honestly just crazy now. And then they just play a few more moves, and in the end, Arjun wins. As you can see, the Arjun, the queen, she's training his knight hill. Just look at how this and he resigned because his pod's gonna cook. He's got an attack and like Alexander's also had 48 seconds, Arjun had 3 minutes. So Arjun ended up with 9.5 out of 13 and Alexander got 8.5. So that was a good performance by Arjun. Now let's go through on board one, Magnus versus Anish. This is a very interesting game. Let's see. So Magnus in this game is playing with the white pieces and Anish Giri with the black pieces. Let's start. E4, E5. This is the Sicilian defense. After E3, planning an Alep F7. This time Magnus goes E5. Not the best move because usually you would want to go. Okay, E5 actually is better, but I like going D3 or something. D3 is also a variation. After E5, knight goes to D5, knight F3. Knight C6 is not played unfortunately. D6 is also in line. After E3, you always go to the Sicilian, and a knight goes to C6. So they're just taking out everything. Bishop d4, knight d6, bishop 5 takes, bishop d7. He takes the bishop. This is good because you also want the bishop there. Now goes to c3, e6, planning to bring out the bishop. After that, castles, rook d8, queen e3, queen bishop d7, bishop d8, bishop takes, queen takes. Anish is a tiny bit better maybe, but not necessarily. He takes b6, queen takes b6. I mean, rook ac1, rook b8. Now he's planning some ideas to get the b2 pawn, but then rook goes to c2. He defends it, Magnus. That's good. And then king goes to d7. Magnus brings in rook in, doubling, rook 8 c8, king f1. And Anish finds a really good move, a5, advancing the pawn, and then pawn goes to b3, bishop a3, taking the outpost kind of area, rook b1, moving up, bishop b4, and then a knight jumps into the center, knight, bishop d2. They're just grinding and trying their best to win. Actually, both of them find with a draw, and that's exactly what happens. In this position, Anish Giri offers a draw, and Magnus, who's happy with the draw, as he accepts it, and it ends up with 10.5 out of 13. So Magnus wins the tournament. Anish ends up with 9 out of 13. Anish Giri. So in this game, Magnus ended up with 10 minutes, Anish with 7. The reason they drew, they can still try push for wins, but like it's completely drawn still, and both of them are happy with draw. Anish like it's Magnus, fine with a draw. Magnus, I'm gonna win the tournament, so a draw. So Magnus and Anish, that was a very quick game. I just want to show you because it was both one. So they both had a draw. Magnus ended up winning the tournament. Absolutely stunning stuff. And so now I'll maybe talk to you about the Blitz later on because the Blitz I think it's gonna start today on the 29th of December 2025. Also, New Year's coming, so yeah, that was a draw in that game. I hope you liked it. Now, thank you. That's all I had to say for this video. Magnus just won. Arjun and guys, I think he came third. Sam Seven, I don't know, but he did good. And so yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Goodbye.